I couldn't let this year's yarrow flowering pass without just saying a few words about it. I could spend days speaking about yarrow. It's been in my life for a long time, and I very much hope to, in the future, hold days and weekends here just on yarrow here at Ivywood, because it's such a special and influential herb. I think I was first met yarrow when I was about 18, so 25 years ago. And in those 25 years, yarrow has haunted me. It's literally haunted me. Different places I've lived around the world, different things I've gotten up to, and yarrow has always appeared in the maddest places. I have such crazy stories about yarrow turning up when I needed it, and for very good reason, and that's why I could probably spend a long time talking about yarrow, and what it's meant to be and what a guiding plant it is for anyone, especially for anyone on the herbal path, or any healer or practitioner that is bringing forth that kind of energy for others. But on a very medical, clinical, as a clinical herbalist, there's a few things I'd love to mention about yarrow, and it's another way which I know yarrow is by treating patients, and it is an amazing herb that can bring such support for quite serious conditions like high blood pressure, or as a herb for staunching blood, internally and externally as well, and I've used it extensively in those regards, but also a herb that works just in general on the venous and circulatory system, and incredibly supportive that way. It's incredibly cooling, it's very calming, it's an amazing diuretic and diaphoretic. It's probably one of the top, along with elderflower and catnip, that I would think of for really strong fevers that won't cool and won't calm. Yarrow's an absolute go-to in those regards, and yeah, and amazingly supportive against bacteria and viruses. It's just incredible. It's such an all-rounder in many ways, and then getting to know this plant on a more subtle level over those 25 years of being haunted by yarrow, it certainly is an incredible plant for protection. And you will find lots of yarrow posted around our house in different ways for different reasons, and it is about healthy boundaries, and it is about protection in different ways. So it's a very important herb for practitioners and healers, I feel, because we need a certain type of protection, because you are very sensitive, and you are also always in coming up against or in touch with a lot of other different types of energies, whether they're other people's energies or whether they're other plants' energies, and yarrow could be your greatest ally in this respect. So for anyone who works with others in a healing regard, or works with plants in a healing way, making medicines, then yarrow is incredibly important. And over those 25 years of getting to know yarrow, you would often see me plucking a couple of bits of yarrow leaf or yarrow flower and sticking them in my hair, sticking them down my top, sticking them in my pocket, sticking them in my sock. I'm always gathering little bits of yarrow and carrying it with me all the time. And yeah, a lot of it is, as I said, around protection and around boundaries, but also around being strong in your own power, being centered, not being as easily led by others, not being as easily led by others' emotions, or even tied up in the drama, which is really easy as humans. We get tied up in drama all the time, in other people's drama. And certainly as a practitioner, that can happen really easily, where you can take on too much of someone else. And even when you work with plants on a more intuitive level, you can take on too much of those other plants. So even holding your own within your own power and being centered even around plants and trees, they're very powerful in their own ways. Yarrow can be a really amazing help in that way. So so on all these other levels, but it's interesting, even after 25 years of being with the yarrow, I don't really feel like always ready to talk enough about my experiences at Yarrow. So this is just a short message about some of its beauty, just because it is in flower right now. And I'm about to harvest some of this yarrow here. We have loads of it. You know, it's so apt that it's here at Ivywood, kind of at our entrance here. And there's tons of it growing around here. And I'm so happy to see it because of what myself and Ross do here at Ivywood, and the boundaries and protection that are needed to be in place for us with our work. And we're just completing a new gate at the entrance, and a new stone wall, and I'm actually going to harvest this yarrow to actually put into that wall. So the wall is almost finished this evening, and I'll be harvesting some of this yarrow to actually place in there for all of those reasons. But yeah, there's so much more I'd love to say about this plant, and I hope to in good time, and I really hope to facilitate some lovely days here at Ivywood that are very specific for healers and practitioners, because this plant is so important for them and for what they do, and it can really bring you so much as a practitioner, a healer, or somebody that works with other people and those energies. So yeah, just a tiny bit on yarrow, trying not to make go on and on. But yeah, I'm delighted to be out here this evening while yarrow is in full flower, and and doing a tiny bit of harvesting tonight.